Welcome to my podcast, Chat with Loki. It's about sharing stories of grit, resilience, wisdom from unseen, unheard, everyday heroes of life. I have few family members who are really religious. And I see how faith and religion really helps them to keep things together. So understanding myself and all these things for many people is a uphill task. Instead, they chose to, it's a South Indian thing. They say, whatever challenges and tasks or adversities of life come to you, just leave it to the God. And the moment they do that, they're surrendering to something bigger than them. And so they can just continue with what they need to do day to day. And I've seen that really working. It doesn't mean they're solving the problems. That's where I think it's the hindrance. But the concept of not carrying the load and thinking, there is something bigger than us, which, takes away half of the pain or half of the burden, in itself is already, I feel personally, it's a great move.
Yeah, so there's going to be some cultural and religious emphases on motivations and what keeps us doing things or don't do certain things.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't think divorce is a bad thing. I think maybe it's against certain religions, but personally, I don't think it's bad. So if you've got to a stage where you've understood yourself and this relationship just isn't working, I think it's a useful time to move on. If you don't understand yourself and you stay there, and you can grow in that, you can definitely grow in that. You don't have to leave that necessarily.
Yeah.
But if you're saying my overall happiness and my overall growth is important to me, then that could be a useful thing to do.
So you think divorce is okay when two individuals or one of the individual haven't really tried all options?
Well, you can't say for what the other individual does. You can only play your part.
So let's take one individual. Let's put the connection and all those things because we cannot measure them because it's all individual based. Like the love and the connection and all those things are like something no one can measure. Only the individual knows. But let's take into the things you can measure. For example, how much income you earn, how much material things you provide and all those things. Let's take a male who is earning X amount, who is providing X, Y, and Z, and they had a great time, 3 years, and now the female standards have gone up because cost of living has gone up and he needs to do more.
Sure.
He's not able to do it. He had enough.
Yeah.
So he says, that's it. I'm already stretching myself and I can't do more than this, but can we still be together? And she says, nah, sorry, you're not good enough for me. I have a better person. And because also here the individual is listening to others. It's not just herself, listening to others. And they all say, majority, unfortunately, I'm not saying it's a good thing. They say, you could do better. And then the breakup happens.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on right now in social media where females coming back and saying how they listen to the wrong advice, thinking the grass is greener, and then the regret they're going through. In a way, you can say spiritually, yes, it happened for your own good because you need to wake up. But without thinking, without appreciating what is in front of you or what is being provided, basically what I'm trying to say is this: people are giving up easily. And if you say if that breakup happens to improve, I agree. But if that breakup is not improving yourself or becoming your best version, instead you're going back into the market to find something, let's say a better product, it has become a product, then that's not going to do any favors. You're going to attract another product which you're not going to be happy with that product.
Yeah.
And because they all have timeline.
And in that case, maybe your growth will be not a straight linear growth. Your growth will be going backwards to go forwards. So in the scenario you gave as an example, she might say, I'm unhappy with this.
Yeah.
Most relationships break up because someone, or at least one of them, is unhappy with something.
Yeah.
So a lot of times if you want to work on it, you want to work on what am I unhappy about?
Yes.
And you might also want to work on why am I unhappy about that?
Yeah.
If this person, this example you're giving, that then there's not enough money and we need more and I need more now.
Yeah.
Now we want to understand, why do you need more? Do you need more because you just want a bigger lifestyle? Are you trying to show off? Are you trying to get approval from others?
Yeah.
Are you scared that you won't have enough security?
Yeah.
So if you don't understand your own imbalances, you're just going to project them out into everywhere else.
Yeah.
So in that case, and some people won't. Some people just say, well, this is what I want and I'm not going to look at myself and this is what I'm going to do. And
Yeah.
you're right. They will generally repeat that over and over.
Yeah.
But there'll be growth eventually. If we get enough pain, we're going to start deciding to maybe say, well, maybe I've got to do something a little bit different.
Yeah. So basically, if you're breaking up, at least break up for your own growth.
Yeah, well, maybe see if you can grow first in there. Can I stay in here and say, what is it I want in this? Can we try to work together to get what we both want, but understanding why I want it, so we can find that middle ground. And if it just doesn't work, like we're on different pages, then that's okay.
Yeah. I think a lot of times breakups are also happening in a friendly way. Both people understand, both people move on, which is perfectly fine. Personally, for me, when a breakup happens and then there's no closure, is another trauma you take on. On one side, you need to go and find yourself and all those things, and there's no closure. So you need to take that on board and deal with it. So it's a lingering thing in your head.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's what a lot of people are going through. It doesn't matter which gender. I'm sure a good percentage where still people don't know why the partner left them.
Yeah, they're really tricky, those scenarios, because we like to understand and we like to, from the understanding, be able to grow and move from there.
Yeah.
But sometimes what we can also just understand is that if a partner can't tell me why they left, it's usually telling you that this partner is not a very good communicator and this is probably not someone you want. So moving forward, you want someone who's able to communicate, because you can't actually change something if someone's not telling you they're unhappy about it.
Yeah.
That's a relationship bound to fail if they're never telling you they're unhappy with things. So even there is information even in that, even though you're not getting getting the information verbally from the other person.
Nice. Okay. So it's basically, that's awareness. Okay. Wow. I just want to move something light. Do you watch movies?
Yeah, I love movies.
What kind of movies you watch?
I watch a combination of movies. I watch.
If you have to pick like one genre, what would be?
I think maybe it would be maybe fantasy.
Fantasy?
Yeah, fantasy.
Like science fiction or?
Yeah, probably sci-fi fantasy. I think some people argue that they're different, but I'm happy to combine them personally.
Is there any movies which probably addressed some of the things we talked about?
Not that I can
or
think of
a
it,
TV series or something which, or anything more from a psychology awareness aspect where the movie or the TV series might dwell into a lot of things we've been discussing. Let's say whether it's relationships or upbringing or childhood or breakups.
Yeah, there's none that I'm actually aware of.
Okay.
I guess from me, even when I watch movies, it might be that I get I like the movie.
Yeah.
Then I might get this little element within the movie. It's I really like that component. That's given me a great understanding of this.
Yeah.
But there's not one that I can say that it really addresses the whole genre of it.
So what's your favorite fantasy movie?
I think I really like the Lord of the Rings
Lord
trilogy.
of the Rings, the trilogy.
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. I just always liked it, and I think I read the books when I was a kid as well.
Yeah.
And it sort of just brought my imagination to life. And I just like movies in general. So I like movies even prior to that.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, and I just love the world that was created and all the characters in there.
Oh, I love the characters. I think one of those. I never used to watch the movies like sequels or series and stuff. I feel like they're really dragging me to watch everything. But Lord of Rings, I really enjoyed it because they do those movies actually take you on a beautiful journey, and it's almost like traveling outside the solar system. Yeah. So apart from movies, what else you do in your own life for you to, let's say, process your thoughts or find yourself?
Yeah, so for me, a lot of my time was spent meditating. That like initially was a lot of spent meditating, reflecting on myself.
Yeah.
And once I really got that clearer picture of who I am, then within me started to emerge a little bit of my own passions started to come out from there.
Okay.
So even from there, my own passions were things like, speaking about movies, I started doing acting classes. So
really?
So I really enjoy acting. I enjoy comedy.
Okay.
I've written a movie, or written a script anyway. So I've written books, so I've written songs. I really just got creativity started flowing out of me. So,
Nice.
so that's really something that changed. Like growing up, that was really not anything ever I entertained before.
What's your script about? What's the genre? Is it something again fantasy or?
No, it's probably more along the lines of a message and a message about how we process our emotions and what happens when we live our life in a way where we don't process our emotions.
So the protagonist is what?
The protagonist is a person who's a very numb person.
Okay.
And doesn't know how to cope when he's faced with emotional situations.
Okay, this is what I'm imagining. So this guy gets up and there's so much going in his head and he's just looking for an escape.
Kind of that, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you can pick the, city or a town where he goes and just knocks a few bottles of tequila. And then in that process, you just figure out a way to come out.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit different than that, but close.
Different.
I'm going to keep it a little bit close to my chest because, this is maybe I'll make it into a movie one day. Who knows?
Yes,
I don't want to give all the ideas away, Loki.
No. Okay, I don't want to steal your creativity, but I'm a movie buff. I do watch a lot of movies. Recently, I watched a movie. It's called Kantara.
Okay.
It's a South Indian movie, and I think the first movie came in 2021, and I was going through really tough time, loss of job, anyway, a lot of things. And one day I watched this movie, and there was this 20 minutes at the end of the movie. I felt the experience was something. I felt something beyond the five senses. And I'm like, geez, what's going on here? So I watched again. Just that piece. Mm-hmm. And it was, they have shown in the movie how a tribal people have their own local deity, the relationship with the nature, and living just simple life in the nature, of the nature, that kind of stuff, and how the impact of modernization ruined their peace, ruined their all the things they believed in. Like police come, the politicians come, and they're all just trying to improve their lives, thinking creating jobs and all those things, but it was opposite. They're just losing everything they believed in. So that was the movie, but it has actually showed the spiritual connection we have with nature. And somehow, anyway, I connected with that. And then the prequel came a few months ago. I didn't really enjoy the second one that much. But coming back to why I'm saying this is, movies is an expression of our thoughts. Movies is a reflection of what we go through, depending on the journey. It's and that's why some movies become so famous. Some commercialized, others just goes under the radar. That creativity, what you're talking about, how can that creativity be bought from people who are going through just simple, boring life?
So the first part is, again, when you connect to yourself, and you can do this in a few ways. So for me, I had to sort of go through a journey to get to this.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, creativity doesn't have to be what you're called to do, like what you feel pulled to do.
Yeah.
So you might just feel pulled to, I want to exercise. It might be, I feel pulled to travel. It doesn't have to be always the same thing.
Yeah.
What I would really suggest for people is that what they do is brainstorm a whole bunch of ideas of things they may like to do.
Okay.
And once they've got those ideas, they can actually then choose maybe the top 3 to explore and to go look into and seeing if they have the opportunity to do those.
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't have to be creativity. It just could be what brings me pleasure.
Okay. Right. So movies, writing, and meditation. What else? What else you do to keep going?
Well, what I do to spend my time generally, like I play tennis. I love tennis.
Okay.
I do spiritual teaching. So I've got my psychology business. I've got my spiritual teaching business. So I do really enjoy speaking on that element of that spirituality because I bring psychology into it, but psychology is more just psychology. Yeah. So that, like me, teaching is one of my passions in itself.
Yes. And you mentioned about the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit about your book?
Yes,
the next one?
The next one or the first one?
First one, I think you mentioned in our previous chat, but if you want, you can just again summarize and then tell a little bit about your next book. It seems like you're working on it.
Yes, I've been writing a second book, but the first book's called Waking Up to Yourself, which is really just understanding who we truly are and how to connect to that part of us. Yeah. And the first book, I guess, this isn't the title of it, maybe it will be, I'm not sure yet. It's kind of like the story of my life, of how I woke up to myself. Okay. So it's just going through all the elements and all the different things that happened and how I sort of found the wisdom that I found and that I teach.
So it goes from your childhood?
Yeah, it starts from my childhood. It's kind of like a story of my spiritual journey.
So it's almost like an autobiography, but... Okay.
Yeah. And I think maybe memoir is what they call it.
Memoir, yes.
Because it's a certain element of my life.
You reminded me, actually, 2 weeks ago, I watched the 𝗙𝗵𝘁𝗵𝗃𝗲.
The memoir of a 𝗙𝗵𝘁𝗵,
It's just, I watched that a long time ago, but 2 weeks ago, I watched again. And there's something there. So it would be memorable then.
Hopefully. Even if it's not memorable for me, writing it was just generally, I love the creativity of it, so that was great. And it was also, for me, it was quite healing, and I sort of healed things that I didn't realize I was still carrying on or holding on to. And for me, it also gave me clarity about my journey. Like I knew what I knew, but I actually didn't know how I knew all the things that I knew. I just knew that I knew them. Yeah. So it actually put all the pieces together for me. So it was actually quite nice to experience that.
So when do we expect the book to come? This year, next year?
I don't know. How long's a piece of string, Loki?
So you're still working on it?
Definitely not this year, we'll say.
Not this year. No. Okay. So, okay.
Yes,
but it's not too far away.
No, it's probably maybe got one more minor draft in it.
6 months.
Possibly. But I also work with myself. I always do things when it feels right to do them. So even though it might be ready now, it might not feel right to me to execute on that yet.
Okay.
So that's why I can't tell you.
No, it's all good. Okay. The audience know that there is another book coming from you, and there's other creative things you're doing. And coming to your psychology and how do you help your... I shouldn't probably ask this in this way. Majority of your clients, if you have to categorize into 3 areas why they come for your help or your coaching, how would you categorize those 3?
Yeah, I'd probably say the main thing is they're struggling with their emotions. That's the main thing.
So the ones who are seeking for peace.
Generally, most people are coming because they want more peace.
Do they know that?
Well, they know they don't want to feel bad, so they do want to feel better, usually is what people come for.
If I have to put an age group and a gender, what would you say?
I get a variety, I work with adults only, so probably, if I had to say the majority would probably be between about 25 and 45 or 25 and 50 would be the majority.
That's where majority of life things are happening. Yeah, okay. So peace or dealing with emotions and thoughts, okay.
Yeah. Most of the time for a person, they're about dealing with their emotions.
Okay.
My job is to explain to them, explain to people, this is what, when you think this way, this is what you feel.
Yeah.
When you respond to your emotions this way, this is where it becomes problematic.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what I do is I see where people, where they're taking away their own peace.
Okay.
So it might be, yes, I feel disappointed. Sure, that's a normal part of life. But how do I cope with it is where I'm losing my peace.
Sorry, could you explain that for a layman, please?
Sure. So just as an example, I might feel disappointed.
Yeah.
That's okay. Something didn't work out, so I feel disappointed.
Yeah.
But maybe when I get disappointed, I say to myself, I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have done that. My life's not going anywhere now.
Yeah.
So some of the things I say to myself in the disappointment is what actually takes away my peace, not just being okay to feel disappointed.
My response to myself is my disappointment.
Yes, my response to my disappointment
Is my, wow.
So it's how am I responding to my emotions usually is where the problems are, but also what beliefs I hold that keep my emotions going all the time.
Can you give one example without naming or anything as a summary, how you helped someone to overcome that?
Overall, what I do is I generally teach people, the main thing I teach them is, I'd say, if I put a heading of it, I call it self-love.
Self-love,
Yeah.
okay.
And so part of self-love generally for me means that, say, someone with an emotion, the first part of self-loving would be, can I be okay to have this emotion?
Yeah.
Can I love myself enough to be okay to feel bad sometimes?
Yeah.
So that would be the first step.
Okay.
Part of self-love is also, do I want to choose to be critical in my mind? Or do I want to choose to be kind and compassionate in my mind?
Yeah.
So a lot of times what I teach people is how to be compassionate to themselves, how to be fair on themselves, how to be forgiving on themselves. And a lot of that is really just teaching people how to change their thinking patterns, how to change how they're looking at it, how they're looking at themselves.
Yeah.
So that I can give any examples, but that's just too numerous. Like that would be a very common thing that I would do.
Okay. Yeah. And when do you think you see the change from a timeline perspective? Let's say someone comes to you in January. Mm-hmm. I know these things can be lifelong journeys, learnings. It's not like doing for 1 month and going away. What would you say if someone's going through confusion, not able to understand their thoughts, or going through some really emotional stuff? If they want to give it a go, want to make change and find that peace, what would you say if they're willing to do and invest in everything? What's the timeline these things they start to notice change?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question, because the example you kind of gave sounds like a very extreme sort of person who's suffering.
No, just day-to-day stuff.
Yeah.
Let's not go into the trauma and all those things. I'm just more talking about day-to-day stuff, people being busy, people not able to find time for themselves, that kind of stuff.
You should at least start noticing some changes after 5 to 6 sessions. You should probably at least start noticing some changes.
Yeah.
It really depends on how deep you want to go. Some people are happy to just deal with this one issue and move on. Some people are happy to deal with it, then get to know themselves deeper, to understand why did that affect me and how do I prevent other things from affecting me.
Yeah.
But I'd say within 6 sessions, you should actually start noticing some changes at least.
So basically, it's not years and years, it can be weeks and months.
Well, yes, to notice some changes.
To notice. Yeah, that's all it is. It's like I'm not saying the full outcome. Because a lot of times, individuals don't take the step thinking, it's a long journey and
It's too hard.
And I rather just sit down and do what I'm comfortable with doing and just put that aside. So just for the people who are thinking but not taking the step, I'm actually saying, well, you'll start to see the notice.
And sometimes earlier too.
Too, yes. Yeah, depends on the individual and what they're going through. Okay, and what's the second type of area of clients you have? First one is looking for peace, trying to deal with their thoughts and all those things. Is there another area?
I'd probably say that's the overall.
Okay.
So then we might say there's people, if that are looking for peace just right now.
Yeah.
Some that are looking to get to know themselves to have longer term peace. They're probably like the two areas that I find.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So most of the time, so I kind of like the way, I got a sore ankle, so I'm going to go fix my ankle, but that might be great, it's fixed, but have I worked on all the issues that caused the ankle to hurt in the first place?
Yeah.
So it's usually one or the other.
Yeah. So in a risk management, we say root cause analysis.
Yes, that's right. So trying to address the root cause. That's right.
Okay. And do you travel a lot?
I do some travel, yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite place? Let's say next week you have the choice to travel. Where would you go?
I think I'd probably go back to Europe probably next time. Maybe to Italy again. It's been a long time since I've been to Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just love the food there.
Yeah.
And my background's Italian, so I don't feel fully Italian there, but I also feel there's a familiarity when I go there.
Yeah. Do they see you as foreigner? Because there's a reason why I'm asking this. When I go to India, even though I look and all those things, but my behavior and the way I talk, they treat me like I'm foreigner.
Yeah.
Is it the same with you?
For the first 5 minutes, no.
Oh, okay.
Then once they hear my Italian after 5 minutes, they can say, oh, something's not quite right. So then they realize I'm a foreigner.
Cool. So because of food and the familiarity, you would go back.
Yeah, and I also just like the history there. I really love the Roman Empire history. So
yeah,
I'm a bit of I'm not quite a history buff, but I do have an interest in history as well.
I really enjoy reading or coming across ancient wisdom. There's dark ages, there's a lot of things, but in all that, there is some learnings for us. And go into documentaries which talks about megastructures and the rationale behind it. It's like exploring what was the thought process back in the day, why did they do this, and how was the living, and what was the hierarchy and all those things. And it's just, it taught me more to understand our ancestors. It helps me a lot. So what's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Probably pasta and pizza. And
it?
Sushi. Maybe we'll add sushi there too.
I don't know if I asked you this last time, but let's say you've been stranded in a desert for 100 days. And you can choose only one type of dish and one 500 ml drink. And it will be delivered to you, and you cannot get anything else for 100 days. What would you choose?
Water would be the drink.
Okay, that's easy for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people said wine.
Okay, no, I'd go water, I'd say. Coffee would be second.
I think someone said coffee as well. Anyway, yeah.
So what would be the first one? I think my mind works a little bit practically. So I think what's like a really good high nutritional meal that I could eat that I still enjoy. So maybe I might get maybe like a Thai dish with lots of vegetables and some protein in it and noodles. Maybe something like that.
Okay. So Thai dish and water.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, it's you chose something tasty, and also it gives all the basic things you need for the day.
Yeah, it's balanced. It's balanced.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's actually, I do ask this as if it's you're stuck for 365 days, and some people just couldn't answer that because first time they're like, oh, I never thought about this, and that's why it reduced from 365 to 100 days.
Okay, I didn't do the maths.
No, it's good. That's a sensible answer. Water straight away is sensible answer, and then in relation to we'll talk a little bit about your travel and food, but beyond all this, how do I ask this? With the history, ancient Roman and all these things, yes, with the psychology background, what's your view about faith and religion?
So for me personally, I'd say I'm spiritual.
Okay.
And for me, spirituality is having faith without any religious connection.
Okay.
So religion is more for me quite dogmatic and has certain rules and structures to it.
Okay.
And I don't really feel that is all-encompassing enough, and I've felt that way for a long time.
Okay.
And so I think that's why I sort of went down my own path. And also for me, it's just about understanding the nature of reality, the nature of life. That's really what spirituality is.
Okay.
And so for me, the more I understand who I truly was, my soul, my true self, the more that just delved into being spirituality.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I think spirituality and science are going to meet up, even if they haven't quite got there yet.
Yeah.
I think just science isn't able to explain what spirituality is yet. And for me, it's really, like I said, the reality of life. It's everything is energy. How does that energy function?
Yeah. Personally, okay, I understand from a humanity global aspect. What do you think is the role of faith and religion? Because I'll give you a little bit insight there. Why I'm asking this is the psychology behind our behavior is heavily driven by religious practices and cultural aspects as well. Currently, 30 or 31% is Christianity. And Islam comes 2. And I think number 3 is Hinduism and then Buddhism. But if I take the people who don't follow any religion, that comes at number 3, which is almost 1.2 billion. And, whether it's atheist or agnostic or whatever you call it. So that's where the majority are. And with religion, there are rules, yes. There are practices, yes. But they're not meant to punish you. They're not meant to take away your freedom. But they're supposed to put you in a track or in a path so that there's some discipline and all those things. But individuals misuse it. I get it. What does the individuals who doesn't have any of these rules or so-called guidelines and paths, what's their moral compass?
I think the one thing religion does offer society is a compass. It offers a set of behaviors that can be generally nice and well-meaning to everyone else. It can be that.
Yeah.
So I think that really permeates society. Even if people aren't religious, I still think that being a good person, a lot of people have the idea of what that means. Yeah. Not everyone's going to have a universal standard of that, but I think that most people do want to be, I guess, good people.
Yeah.
I think overall is that if we can find our own inner peace before needing to change anything externally, then we won't actually be projecting our own pain onto everyone else. So that would be what makes us a good person in a sense. Yeah. So I really think that even if you aren't religious, which is fine, it's really about how do I find my own inner peace before just using my own pain to project out. Yeah. So how do you find that moral compass? Well, that's the more we connect to our intuition is our moral compass. Our true self is already in there. But our feelings are like clouds. Yeah, but the clouds are just clouding the sky. It doesn't mean the sky is not there. So when we can know how to just wait before just responding to the clouds, then we can see what is the clarity, how do I feel like I want to move forward here. Yeah. That is awareness of the clouds. So when the clouds are usually our thinking patterns and our emotions, they are the clouds. Yeah. But the clear sky is always there. So when we can kind of let them blow through a little bit, then we get more conscious choice of how we move forward. Yeah. There is a lot of surface spirituality. I think I posted something only last week. While I was working on my next book, which is a little bit about escapism, religion, faith, and all these things, I came across in my research how the commercialization of spirituality is in the peak right now. Crystals, anyway, there's a lot of things. For me, one thing I came to know in this process is it's really hard to understand in that surface spirituality whether it's driven by ego or driven by your authentic self. Because is spirituality an easy path? That's what I'm trying to ask. Because when something is difficult for me to do, I'm saying it's not for me. Okay, like not me, but
That's what's generally happening, and that's where it's leading to surface spirituality, where it's all about vibes and vocabulary, rather than actually going into the depth and doing the inner work and stuff. Because nothing is sexy about doing the inner work.
No, nothing sexy about the shadow.
Nothing sexy there. Yeah, you know that, and that's what you do, in your coaching and stuff. But how does the individual know that it's the surface spirituality or the spiritual path where they're really dealing with the shadows?
Yeah, I think if you're always feeling, a lot of times like spirituality and certain aspects of spirituality always talk about love and light, love and light, love and light.
Yes.
And I guess love and light, you can't have light without dark, you can't have dark without light. So if you're just in the light all the time, then that's scraping the surface, which is fine. If that's really where you're going to go, that's fine. But eventually the dark is there. So if you ignore it long enough, it will come.
Yeah.
So I think any spirituality that ignores that part is probably going to be more surface spirituality. But even me, I started on that side and it just got deeper and deeper. So for me, it was like I don't want to say it's surface, but it was just focusing on the light way too much.
Yes, yeah.
And then when it became really sort of whole, it was when I actually embraced and understood my shadow.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that would be a really important component. I also think any teachings that take away your own power and make you put power in someone else, I think that's not really useful either. So even when I try to teach someone, I don't say, you got to do what I'm saying. So even when I'm talking to you, I'm not saying you have to do what I'm saying. My job is to tell you what I know, and your job is to think about that. How do I feel about that?
Yeah.
And does that feel true to me, or do I feel like, no, actually, I don't want that? So even myself, I used to just take bits and pieces from all different places to utilize for myself, not taking anything too dogmatically. So I think that's quite useful to be able to discern that anything that takes your power away, rather than something that empowers you.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. I have a lot of conversations with people about this. I'm spiritual but not religious. It's a big statement these days, and it's a safe thing to say in this day and age. But it's okay, as you said. We have choice, we have freedom, and no one's forcing anyone to do. The moment it's get forced, that's already limiting or putting boundaries. In my research also, what I came to know, which became a bit of a more time I need to spend, is a lot of younger people are now going towards religious more. I don't know why, but the numbers are increasing. Are they looking for something, or I don't know, it's something that's been increasing. And did you come across that, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but what I think's happening is that people want to believe in more, but people are also more wanting to have certain rules of how, like, it's easy. If there's a set of rules already to follow, a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's just easy to do that. I don't have to connect to myself. I don't have to think about what I want. I just follow these rules.
Yes.
So we take our own power and give it away. It's a lot easier sometimes to do that.
Yeah.
Initially.
Yeah.
But eventually that really results in, I feel disempowered because I'm not really discerning what feels good and true to me.
Yes.
So I think I think what religion offers is a really very strong set of rules and a way of functioning that you don't actually have to think anymore yourself.
Yes.
So just follow this and it's done.
Instead of following, whenever it's not making you align with it, it's the moment where we need to stop and ask, or at least like the thing you said earlier in the conversation, why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. If it's going in the flow, it's good, it's fine, it's helping you to go wherever you're going. But the moment it feels like it's a drain or a load and stuff, that's where we need to stop and ask, the thoughts, the thinking.
Yeah, that would serve us to really question why am I doing this? Is it really feeling true to me? That is it just feeling like, oh yeah, I like this, but I don't really like that. So it's really, I think anything that takes away your own individuality and your own ability to live as your truth.
Yeah.
I think anything that takes that away is something that's not overall useful, or it might be useful, but it's bound to fail eventually.
But don't you think when you're living in a community, you need to have some set of rules?
Yeah, which is great, but I think there's a level that we can still follow the rules and not lose ourselves.
That's the balance. It's
And again, usually it's like some of the rules, if we're doing them, like say if I'm hurting someone or fighting, a lot of the times that's coming from a disconnection from self. It's not actually coming from a connection to true self.
True, yeah.
So that's where the rules can be useful. That's where it can like create a sense of discipline. But sometimes what is required is, yes, I can follow those rules, but what feels most true to me, not just what feels like I want to respond conditionally right now.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of that too. I totally agree. Personally, I'm religious, okay? And I was born into Hindu family. And I don't practice religious things because I live in a Western society. But whenever I get an opportunity, I go to temple, I go to church. And it's a place of reflection. It's a place of peace for me. And also it's a place of offering prayers to, family members who passed away. And in this whole process, one thing what I understood is there is deep inside me, there is this unshakable energy which guides, doesn't matter what happens in life. That inner voice actually says, yeah, we're here. Keep going. We're here. That voice.
Yeah.
And I asked myself a lot of times, what is this voice? And for me, even some things where it seems like bad things happen to me, 6 months later, 3 months later, or 12 months later, I realized, wow, that's nothing bad at all. It actually protected me from going to something really horrible.
Yeah.
And that's why I continue to practice, and I don't say that you need to follow a religion, but you need to have faith. And one thing which I really, I don't struggle, but I just try to understand where is the rules, where is the scripture for us to differentiate between good and bad in life, especially when you don't have the experience of life itself.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the religion actually has a scripture, a structure.
That's right.
But the beauty is we have freedom to ignore the ones which are not serving us. And I think we're in a good place. Maybe that's why the younger generation are coming back and saying, you know what, this actually says, this scripture, this religion says, you can't cheat on your partner. I'm like, okay, that's not a good, bad thing. It's really good. It's not about freedom. It's like being truthful and, to save the relationship. So if you follow. So it's, I don't know, that's where my headspace is when it comes to religion, faith. Yeah. It helps me to stay grounded. It helps me to be gratitude. For grateful of all the things I go through each day. I tend to also say, I don't use the word religion, but I always say divine. And one thing I've been taught is there's divinity in all of us, and you can call that true self. And whoever accesses that always sees life and experience life differently.
Yeah. And when we live from that, then a lot of the rules that we've developed through religion come from what it's like to live from that.
Yes, yeah.
But sometimes they are disconnected from what it's like to live from that. So the more we live from that, the more we live in a loving, kind way, not just to others, but to ourselves.
Yeah.
The more we know how to discern whether to act in a way that's maybe harmful or not harmful. Generally, it won't be harmful.
Yeah.
The more we know ourselves, the less likely you're going to cheat on a partner. The more you might say, all right, this relationship isn't working for me. Or if you don't know yourself and you're not aware of it, then you are going to make decisions. Even with those rules there, you're still going to make decisions because you have a lack of self-awareness. So sometimes the rules are good. They don't necessarily help you understand yourself better, though.
Yeah.
As far as I see.
So from a psychology aspect, do you have any recommendations for a healthy relationship?
I'd say learn how to love yourself first. That would be the first thing. Learn how to love yourself, what you want, get to know your own needs.
Yeah.
And how do I then bring that into my relationship? And that requires both partners to do the same, though. It's not just
course.
me learn how to love what I want. What do they want?
Yeah.
How can we find that middle ground? It would also be owning your own imbalances and trying to work on them as well, so that you're not always projecting your imbalances onto the other person.
Yeah. How does individual know what is self-love?
Well, they can read my book, the first one. There's a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
But for now, it is really just understanding. It's a little bit of a tricky one, because self-love doesn't mean loving yourself. It doesn't mean like I have a feeling of love like I love someone else. It can be that. It doesn't have to be though. But self-love is like understanding, am I accepting myself or not? Am I encouraging of myself? Am I appreciating myself? Am I respecting myself?
There's a reason why I'm asking this is there's a ego self, there's a monkey mind and the monk mind. And in this self-love, I think there is also a little bit of a distraction. In the name of self-love, also not taking accountability, not taking responsibility is what I'm just trying to differentiate. In the process of self-love, you still have duties, you still have responsibilities and accountabilities for your actions.
Yeah, but even when I'm taking accountability, can I do it in a more loving way? Can I do it in a more compassionate way to myself? So it's not about not taking accountability. I'm actually suggesting, yes, take accountability.
Yeah.
But can I do it without criticizing myself, without judging myself, by treating myself compassionately in that?
Yeah.
You know, we're all humans. We're all learning. We're all getting to know ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're all we didn't come with a manual how to live.
Okay.
So we're only going to be as good as we are right now, but that doesn't mean we can't improve and understand things deeper and deeper as we go.
So self-love is the answer for a healthy relationship.
I'd say so, yes.
Yeah.
Because the first relationship you have is with yourself.
Yes.
And if you don't have a good one with yourself, then a lot of the times the external ones are going to reflect that.
Yeah. Makes sense, but it seems like a long journey. You know, they say the longest journey you'll ever take is from your head to your heart. And it seems that's what self-love is.
Yeah, but it's also self-love is choosing that journey.
Choosing that journey.
So you're kind of saying it's a long journey, but if I love myself enough, I'm worth taking that journey. Yeah. So I don't care how long it is. If I love myself enough, then I'll go to the ends of the earth to do that journey.
Nice. In your fantasy world, I want to close, but before that, I want to just ask a few things. In your fantasy world, let's say you can see the next 500 years. Let's say people work on their self-love, people, just finding the true self, all these things, because there's a lot of awareness, there's a lot of information. I really think if an individual wants to make change in their life, we're in the best times. There's more access now than any time in the human history. Yeah. In 500 years' time, let's say the climate and all these things put aside, in 500 years' time, humanity, you think will be in a better place?
I think so, yeah. I think overall we're moving more to connecting to our truth.
Yeah.
And generally what happens, the more pain there is, the more opportunity there is to move to peace. The more war there is, the more opportunity there is to create peace. So the more we sort of feel like we're, like a lot of people say, the world is falling apart now, the more likely that's going to move us to wanting to join the world and bring it together, to stay together and have peace together. Yeah. So I think that's the way it's headed. And I think there will be more of a balance with science and spirituality. I think that we're just going to be more aware of our energetic existence, not just what our physical senses can see, because we are very obsessed with our physical senses.
Of course, yeah.
So I think that's going to be the way of the future. And overall, it's going to be a more peaceful environment. Doesn't mean absolute peace, but I think there will also be those who learn will then start integrating that to children through schooling as well.
Oh, it will impact the next generation.
I think, because I think at the moment, even our schooling doesn't really bring this stuff into it. So I think eventually, we'll teach it from as young as possible. Yeah.
I know this is not the question to ask at the end of the conversation, but trauma, people throw this word a lot.
We'll end on a good note.
Not getting your ice cream, apparently it's creating trauma. Yeah. So people are using some words which are really, really deep, as if it's like, normal, nothing. I see the good side of it, and also I see the real meaning of it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of teenagers these days, they say, "Oh, I'm triggered," or "I'm
Traumatized,
traumatized."
yeah.
I didn't know these words until I got into 30s.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Is it a good thing? Is it a
I think it's a bit overused personally. I
Yeah.
think, particularly from a psychological perspective, trauma is a certain event that's a physical
Yeah.
risk to you or danger to you or someone else that you know.
yeah,
I think we just overuse that. So it's like I mentioned the ice cream. So
yeah,
I'd personally like to use the word rather than traumatized for certain situations. I was distressed by that. So
Right.
for me, I'd
Okay,
rather
okay.
use distress. And distress then can be like, distress could be I'm sad about it. It could be
Yeah.
feel like it's unfair. So distress is really talking about other emotions.
No, okay.
But I think people do overuse the word trauma.
I'm hearing that a lot, and actually, I just pause them. I say, "Sorry, what do you mean by trauma? What happened? Did you go to the war?" Something like that. Okay, so it's kind of like, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just more to do with the words are being used, but not understanding the deep meaning behind it.
Yeah, and I also think that if that people are perceiving it as trauma, they're also going to make it bigger than just the fact that it is
yes,
distress.
Yes, that's exactly what I was. Yeah. Now you expressed it well. Yeah. So they are perceiving it's bigger than what it is by using some deeper word than an alternative word.
Most likely, yeah.
Wow, cool. Patrick, I don't have all day to talk about this, but I would love to, because this is something, it goes into layers and layers and layers. But one thing I'll take with this, not one thing, many things, but to summarize what I take from this conversation is to understand emotions, to understand thoughts. First, we need to ask the question, why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. Sometimes also understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. And then once you start playing your little game in the head, you start to see things revealing itself. And in that process, you are heading towards peace.
Yeah, if you choose the more peaceful direction.
Peaceful direction. Yeah, that's a good one. And then for any healthy relationship, the number one key thing is self-love. And what do you mean by self-love is having a great relationship with yourself first, before projecting, before having all these perceptions. And that's a great start for any healthy relationship. And then any other, triggering or like nice guy versus good guy and all these things, before even we project on others, again, the first place to start is why I'm thinking the way I'm thinking. There's always an alternative. Yeah. There is always an alternative. So for me, it's the self-love, compassion, kindness. This is our true nature. Yep. And we need to keep accessing to that rather than get bombarded with the externals.
Yeah, and disconnected from that aspect of us.
Yeah. So that's a process. If we start doing that, you will start to notice change straight away, depending on what you're going through. But always it's great. There is enough help out there, like people like you are helping individuals to get clarity, helping individuals to find peace. And in this process, you're also helping yourself, your own path.
That's right.
It's a great, beautiful message, especially in the day and age where relationships have become a really challenging aspect for many people. And I see your point of view. You're saying it's great. It's good for next generations because we're tackling the problems we have suppressed in the past. Mm-hmm. And in this day and age where the relationships are becoming, like, we all have, like, especially all the basic needs. It shifts to relationships. Mm-hmm. Because in the past it wasn't relationships, it was bringing the food on the table. Now, a lot of people have all the basic needs, and that's why it's going into, I need a better partner, or I need someone who can understand me. At the same time, I need to work on it before I start blaming everyone. It's beautiful. So this whole conversation was just for the people who are going through tough time in relationships, and also to give confidence to young generation not to give up. Not to give up on both genders. It's not a gender fight here. It's just simply understand yourself and the life appears.
Yeah, that's right.
And the reason why we're having a chat again about all this is what a true everyday hero looks like. No fame, no pompous and all these things. It's just simply helping one person at a time, or one voice at a time. And that's why, thank you for coming today. And I wish you all the best with your next book.
Thank you.
And also I wish you all the best with your script. And one day I hope I see that on the silver screen. And also thank you for all the people who are coming to you, so that there is hope for others who are looking for peace and change. On that note, thank you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Lovely to be here. Thank you, Loki.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening, Chat with Loki. Follow and subscribe for more wisdom from everyday heroes.